Boom! Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm doing the typical thing of trying to find where I can share everything. So bear with me. Tell me who you are. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me what you're drinking. Tell me everything. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, why is this button not bloody working? It's not what I like to see. There we go. Right. Sorry, everyone. And I only want to share it in this one frigging place. There we go. Fantastic. So, good morning. How are we? It is Wednesday, and I have got a fabulous guest this morning. What do we think to my new layout, people? Yes, that's right. I got carried away with Canva last night because I was very bored. So, today's trends on Google, it's football. Football mad this morning, people. It's absolutely crazy. Hashtags trending on Twitter to use on your social media today are Wednesday Thoughts, Wednesday Wisdom, and Wednesday Motivation. So do with them whatever you will. Good morning, Mr. Howard Vale, off the mark. Howard made my fancy intro, everyone. I do say it every morning because he made sure that I did. The date of the year. So, you get them weird days like Christmas Jumper Day, Cat Herding Day was yesterday. You get like Tinsel Day. Today is Chocolate Covered Everything Day. Yep, that is right. Do with that whatever you will. Let your mind run wild. I'm sure your partners will appreciate it. And then, yes, that's right, guests in the studio. This is what you're in for. And then the charts for today is still Christmas. I don't know what anyone else expected. It is Christmas through and through. Good morning, Mr. Ernie Boxall as well. Yes, it's still Christmas songs and Christmas films in the film charts. So remember, everyone, anyone watching, tell me who you are, tell me what you're doing, tell me what you're drinking. This morning, I have got my glorious fizz stick from Rachel Shiverton. Thank you, Rachel. Cheers. And I didn't get any coffee this morning because, if I'm really honest, I couldn't be asked to get the V60 out. I'm very extra. I only have V60 coffee. But, so as we know, I am starting to bring guests on Kwak TV every morning, meaning it could be anyone talk about anything. All I do is my spiel in the morning, then they come on and they can choose the topic of conversation. And I can't wait for today's topic because I'm very excited for this person. So, I'm like a bloody parent with a new phone. Hi, Jay.
Hey, how you doing, mate?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm feeling good today. I was a little sleepy yesterday, but I'm wide awake today, so that's good. That helps.
Oh, good. So for people that don't know, because obviously they've been living under a rock, who are you and what do you do?
God, is there anyone who doesn't know me yet? No, I'm not quite at that level yet, mate. So there's anyone who is watching this who doesn't know me. I know a few of you probably will, but my name's Jay Unwin, and I am a mental and physical fitness coach, speaker, and author. And basically, I help people level up their daily habits and routines. So I approach fitness from a mental and physical perspective, and we look at movement, nourishment, stimulation, recovery, connection, all through the lens of kind of daily habits and routines and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool because for me, you are a bit like a powerhouse. You're like me. You're just full of frigging energy, aren't you? You're just like and I love it. It's really cool. But where are you based? What makes you different? Why, for example, how in particular? I know you went over some headings. Then would someone find you useful if they don't have you in their life now? Is that a bit of a cryptic question?
Oh, I don't know. There's so many ways that I could be such a lovely addition to people's lives. But given that we're talking about my work, I would say that it's probably, I'll keep it professional, I reckon.
It's me, do you bollocks?
Hey, if there's anything that I know about you, it's that you're a consummate professional and everything is always very serious. That's right? I've got
There's a piece of meat in my marketing, Jay.
I know, I saw that. I was shocked. I went like this.
No, you're
shocked. Can't believe you did such a thing.
No,
basically the way that I can help, and the reason that people should connect with me is because there's a lot of bullshit out there. There's just absolute rubbish in the fitness industry, and I've been knocking about the fitness industry in some form or another for not far off a decade now, and at the start, I got sucked into all the rubbish as well, and I was looking around at people who were more experienced than I was. I started out as a personal trainer. I didn't come from the same background as a lot of these personal trainers. They came from kind of bodybuilding or sports background, stuff like that. I was a science teacher, and so I was coming from a completely different background. And I started thinking, well, these guys obviously know what they're doing. They've been doing it longer than me, and I started kind of doing stuff the same way. And a lot of it was focused around really extreme workout programs, gym programs that were unsustainable for a lot of people, that would feature hours in the gym, and diets which were great for the kind of bodybuilders and stuff like that. But they're so restrictive, and most people really aren't that fussed about looking like a bodybuilder. So why would they eat like one? Well, it's because it's what their personal trainer has recommended, because it's what they do. And so I'm trying to cut through all that. So really what I teach and how I support people is for anyone, if there's anyone listening to this who's ever tried to make changes in their life that they weren't able to stick to, and that they just couldn't find the motivation to do. If you set New Year's resolutions, obviously we're coming up to New Year. If you've ever set New Year's resolutions that have fallen by the wayside by the end of January, anyone like that who actually just wants to get back to basics, and rather than trying to learn something new, it's about implementing the stuff you already know in a really clear, concise, easy way that doesn't require a stupid amount of motivation all the time, because you're not going to feel motivated all the time.
Yeah.
So really that's that. If anyone is watching this who feels like that resonates a little bit, come and connect with me on Facebook or Instagram or wherever, and absorb some of that philosophy.
That goodness. Absorb the goodness.
Yeah, exactly.
Get a bit of J in you. That's all everyone needs. Right. So two things. Rob, I had Rob Lee on the show yesterday, and he mentioned that most people, I think it's 92% of people, give up or fail their New Year's resolutions. I don't know. I've said the word fail. He didn't. People have basically gone, man, fuck it, I ain't doing it. I want abs at the end of January. You're not going to get abs at the end of January. Chill out, mate. But you was a science teacher. I like the way you kind of just casually just slid
mate. Yeah, I was prior to all the fitness stuff, mate. I was a science teacher. Yeah.
Of what? What science?
Biology. Primarily, but I did have to teach. So biology was my subject. That's what I studied. That's what I was able to teach up to A level. But up to GCSE level, I taught chemistry and physics as well.
That's insane. Why did I not know that? I'm a right nosy bastard, right? I'm real fucking nosy.
Yeah.
How did I not know that?
You need to buck your ideas up, mate.
Yeah, I really do. I think there's something I could do with possibly buying, which I think you could really do with telling me about. So, Jay, what you got happening, mate? What's happening in the world of Jay Unwin?
Pretty quiet at the moment, mate. Like, not really got anything big happening. Oh, there is one thing, actually. There is one thing. Yeah. So tomorrow, it's just any other Thursday, but my book is coming out. My new book, Fit Body, Fit Mind. I love the banner. Buy my shit. My book is coming out tomorrow. And so what I've tried to do with this, my coaching isn't accessible for everyone. I can't help everyone in that way. I only want to work one-to-one with a small number of people at any one time, and as such it's not going to be available to everyone. I do some online courses and stuff like that as well, which is a bit more accessible and a bit more open to people, but the most accessible way of kind of getting some help, I thought, was by putting out a book. So tomorrow, the 17th of December, my new book, Fit Body, Fit Mind, will be out, and that really does encapsulate in a relatively short book. It's not pages and pages. It's about 200 pages long, so it's not a huge book to read. You could read it in a couple of days if you wanted to, if you really enjoyed it that much. And the idea is that it just sums up exactly how to implement this stuff in your life yourself without needing me holding your hand all the way through. It's a bit like me holding your hand through the book. There's 3 parts to it. The first part of the book is what fitness actually is, and it's about fitness for quality of life. A lot of people have these ideas of what fitness means. I mean, you mentioned six packs and stuff like that, and a lot of people immediately think of health, fitness, stuff like that, and think of things like six packs, or they think of things like biceps, or they think of things like running a marathon, or they think of the gym. But my whole philosophy around fitness is slightly different. It's a bit more comprehensive and includes more people within it, and so the first part of the book is all about that and getting you to understand what fitness actually is, and that it's not the end in itself, but it's more a currency. I like to think of fitness as a currency you can spend on other things. It's not about being fit for the sake of it. It's about being fit so that you can be a better partner, a better parent, a better business person, a better friend. You can put more energy into the purpose that you have created for yourself and all of that. It's a currency. It's like money. There's no point having money unless you're spending it on stuff. And so fitness is the same. There's no point having it unless you're spending it on stuff that's important to you. And so that's the first part of the book. The second part is about the 5 pillars of a healthy, fit lifestyle, which is something that I mentioned at the start, which is movement, nourishment, stimulation, so mental stimulation, recovery, and connection.
Yeah.
And each of those in more detail and what they mean and how you can balance those pillars out and make them work for you and support the kind of the roof of your, if you like, of your lifestyle. And then the last part is the 4 steps to 4 foundations of effective habit change, sustainable habit change. So how do you actually make those changes? How do you incorporate these things into your life in a sustainable way where you're not overwhelmed, you're not trying to change everything all at once? So that last section, that part 3, is all about actually that practical step-by-step walk you through essentially how I start off with my coaching clients.
Oh, I love it. So first of all, we've had quite a few people dropping in and out. If you are dropping this in a group where I've shared it, you don't comment on the share, comment on the video, because otherwise I don't know who you are and I don't know what you're doing. Tell me what you're drinking. Tell me where you are. Tell me who you are. Say hello to me and Jay, and then I can scream hello at you down the microphone. Wave, Jay, give everyone a wave. Just wave at everyone for a minute. There we go. That's what we're
wave.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect. See, that's really, really cool about that, because for me, obviously, if you didn't know, I'm a very, very gay man. If a lot of people didn't know that. And
that's brand new information to me.
Honestly, I don't know where that came from.
No.
But
you kept that quiet.
A gay man kept quiet, never. So it's really nice with what you say, and it's because, you know, in gay culture, which is a thing, when people go, no, it's not, it is. It's really a big stigma, especially with, obviously, social media is one of the most toxic things in the world. If I didn't have a business, I probably wouldn't have it. But it's having all these people in gay culture is basically, the cliche phrase is, if you're fat, feminine, or Asian, no one wants you.
Right.
But fat is classed anything more than a 6-pack. Like if you don't have a 6-pack, that's it. Like you're just classed as chubby or average. And it's like, to me, I've got no thing with being average. That really doesn't bother me. And it really ties in my mind with what the title is, Fit Body, Fit Mind.
Yeah.
You know, for me, if your mind would be fit in gay culture, you don't need to worry about what your body is as long as you're fucking healthy. That's all that matters. And it's because of that stigma, because of social media and what, you know, gay culture and society has made all of them think is like, oh, you've got to be the most ripped person in the room. But then that actually, you know, the amount of suicides that happen, without going real dark, the amount of suicides that happen in general, but even in like gay culture because of things like that, is ridiculous.
Yeah. And
if you kind of go, I don't fit in anywhere, you know, no one wants me. It's like, just stop trying to impress everyone with something you're not, because you're not being yourself.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It is, and it's something that is pervasive in general. And like you said, I mean, it's something that you're not the first person I've heard say that exact thing. The pressure to look a certain way is astounding for a lot of people, and certain segments of society are going to be even more bound by that in a lot of ways, by these kind of judgments of others, for whatever reason. I'm not a sociologist. I won't pretend to understand why people and why certain segments of society become more judgmental in that way, or why society as a whole is. But I think that a lot of the people who are pin-ups for looking that certain way, whether it's the cover models on fitness magazines, whether it's actors and movie stars and musicians and people in, you know, dancers and whatever, those people aren't necessarily that healthy. And we've been conditioned to think that, and we'll use 6-packs again as an example, we've been conditioned to think that your body composition is it's either the most important factor when it comes to health, or it's the only factor when it comes to your health and fitness, and indeed your appearance and your attractiveness and all of this complete bollocks. there's so many factors to at play when you look at people's health, and when you see people who are in great shape by societal standards, and you see a guy who's got a six-pack and he's got his pecs and he's got his muscles and all the rest of it, but then he's banging lines up his nose every weekend, and you just think, like, I mean, why are we aspiring just because to an appearance when it's actually, it doesn't add anything to your life necessarily? Having abs, or rather having visible abs,
Yeah.
because we've all got abs, right? The abdominal muscles are
They're
they're there, and they don't work any better if you can see them. And I was chatting to someone recently, and I said, why do we do this with abs and not with any other part of the body where we go, you know what, I can't see my liver, so it's probably not that good? And it's like, it's ridiculous. Yet some people go, well, I can't see my abs, and it's just like, who gives a fuck? Why do you want to see your abs? Yeah. Like, it's mental when you think about it, because if you've got yes, of course, body composition is going to have an effect on your health at some point. At some point, when you're carrying too much excess body fat, that is going to put a strain on your organs. It's going to put a strain on your joints. But until you get to that point, that kind of range in the middle, it really has zero effect. And it's the only people, and this is my experience of in the gym and obvious fitness stuff, like how much weight you can lift and whether you've got a six-pack or not. The only people that care about that are other people in the gym. Nobody else cares, right? There's people, like, there's been all these surveys done where people don't actually want a partner who is ripped to fuck, because they know that they'll be boring as fuck too, probably. They'll be they might have a bit of an ego on them, and this isn't, I'm making a blanket statement here, but people are intimidated by that. Yeah. And even within the fitness industry, where I was massively judgmental on myself when I first started, because yes, we're surrounded by this conditioning in everyday life, but when you start working in the fitness industry, you're surrounded by even more, because everyone around you comes from a bodybuilding background or a fitness modeling background or a sports background. And I came from a science teaching background, and I look like a fucking science teacher, right? I don't look like a bodybuilder. And so I kind of, I got sucked into this, and I felt really insecure, and I felt really unhappy with the way I looked. And so I absorbed these goals from other people when they weren't actually my goals. And I was like, right, I need to put on some muscle. And I was obsessive about it. And it was miserable. It was miserable. It was like, I need to put on muscle. I need to lose fat because I need to fit in. And it didn't add anything to my life. And I sacked it off, and I'm much happier now.
That's what matters. See, like you said, fit mind. You're much happier. If you could give people any 3 tips right now, either it be about their body, their mind, their mindset, routine, anything, what 3 tips would you give them?
Right. First tip would be probably to I think the first one would be about your perception of fitness, and would be to understand that fitness is a lot more comprehensive and a lot more wide-ranging than you probably realize. And it's not about how fast you can run or how much weight you can lift or what you look like, but there's other elements which you probably haven't even thought of, things like your balance, your coordination, your obviously the ones that we always think about, things like body composition, strength, cardiovascular fitness, but balance, coordination, agility, reaction time. And that's just looking at the physical stuff. The mental stuff I tend to kind of divide up into emotional fitness, social fitness, your interactions with other people, spiritual fitness, whatever that means to an individual. It might be a religious thing, it might be a connection, or it's always a connection to something bigger. For me, it's kind of more of a nature and the universe, bit of a Carl Sagan type connection to the sheer vastness of existence. And I find that astounding. And that's my spirituality, is nature and the environment. So spirituality, whether it's religious or otherwise, that's an element of fitness, because it's proven that if you have that kind of connection, you're more likely, you're going to live longer. That's borne out by loads of data. And the same with social connections. Good quality social connections reduce mortality rate. And all of this is all of this is part of your fitness. So my first tip would be to understand that fitness incorporates a lot more than you probably realize at the moment. The second thing would be to embrace uncertainty when you're trying to make changes. So when you try and make changes to your lifestyle, make changes to your, let's say people are going to make New Year's resolutions in the next couple of weeks, things are going to go wrong. Next year is as uncertain as this year. It's not necessarily going to be good, bad, better, worse. We don't know. It's uncertain. That is literally the case for the future. We have no idea what's going to happen. And whenever you make changes, that is going to be the case. And so stuff is going to get in your way. Stuff is going to happen. You're going to, you might lose your job. There might be a relationship breakdown. Bad stuff's going to happen. And that's okay. That's part of life. It doesn't have to be the end of the road. So embracing the uncertainty and not trying to control everything, just trying to control the things you can control, which are your behaviors, your actions, the way you respond to that stuff. So that's probably the second thing. Let go of what you can't control the things that you can control. And the last piece of advice is to start small. Start as small as possible. When you want to make changes in life, most people try and change too many things at once, and they try and change massive things. So there'll be people who start the new year going, I'm going to get up at 5 o'clock every morning, go for a 5-mile run. I'm going to meditate for 5 hours. And then I'm going to whatever. The people will have these lofty goals, which is great that people are feeling motivated, but then they wonder why a couple of days later, they're not feeling motivated to get up at 5 in the morning and run for 5 miles, because motivation is a feeling. Motivation is the feeling of wanting to do something. You don't feel happy every day. You don't feel sad every day. Don't feel angry every day. And you're not going to feel motivated every day. It's a feeling. And the bigger the things that you're trying to do, or what I call the higher motivation cost, getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning requires a huge amount of motivation. There's a big motivation cost. Going for a 5-mile run requires a big motivation cost for most people. So if you start small and the changes you make require a very, very low amount of motivation, you can eventually, the dips in motivation aren't going to be as effective. So you're going to be able, they're not going to throw a spanner in the works as much. So those dips in motivation won't stop you from doing these things because they're small. Like drinking a glass of water when you wake up doesn't require a lot of motivation. Yeah. There you go. Well, so if you pick things that don't take a lot of motivation, if you pick something like getting up at 7 o'clock and walking around the block rather than getting up at 5 o'clock and running for 5 miles, then when your motivation comes down, you're more likely to do it, or you're more likely to kind of push through on those days you don't feel motivated until it becomes an automatic habit. So you start with motivation, you continue by using some discipline and resolve, and you eventually, the goal is to make it as automatic as brushing your teeth, because most days you don't have to motivate yourself to brush your teeth. You do it automatically.
Yep.
And so the smaller changes you can make, and only make 3 or 4 changes at a time as well, maintain that for a month. So you're not trying to do everything at once. And the things you are doing aren't huge, massive acts that just aren't gonna stick past a week or two. So yeah, those 3. Understand that fitness is wide ranging. Can't remember what the second one was now. Embrace uncertainty and only control the things that you can control, your own behaviors and your own responses. And 3, start small, start simple, make it as easy as possible on yourself. Don't make it harder because it's already tough.
See, this is why you need to buy his book, people. So just for anyone in business watching, right?
Yep.
How do you go about, in a nutshell, writing and launching your own book? If anyone else is thinking about it.
So
in a nutshell,
in a nutshell, I would say use the exact same 3 things that I've just said.
Yeah.
So first off, understand that, I say exact same things with slight tweaks. First thing is understand that writing a book is a barrier that a lot of people have because they put it on a pedestal, but actually it's not as big. Everyone's got a book in them. Everyone's got a story to tell, or something that they can give. And that's there, that's inside up in your brain already, and it's just about getting it down on paper. So understand that it's there to start with, and believe that you have got something of value to share with other people, because you have. Every single person watching this has. The second thing would be to embrace uncertainty, because things are going to get in the way of doing it. Things are going to get in the way of doing it. It's not going to go to plan. I got halfway through this book. In fact, I almost finished this book and then changed the entire thing. And that's going to happen. I just was like, this is going to be a load more work. I could leave it. No, I'm going to change it, because something came to mind that I just thought this is better. I realized something. I'm still on a journey myself. So embrace the fact that things are going to change. Stuff's going to get in the way. And that's cool. It's a work in progress. The third thing is start small and do it little and often. Give yourself a target rather than writing a book and relying on saying, all right, I'm going to write a book in the next 2 weeks, which is possible. I did it a couple of years ago. I wrote a book in 18 days, and it's stupid. It's a really stupid way of doing it. The best way of doing it, like with anything, like with your fitness, like with your business, like with your relationships, it's built on a foundation of daily acts. If you get up in the morning and you say, the first thing I'm going to do once I'm, up and dressed and showered and got the kids shipped off to school or whatever the morning routine happens to be, fed the pigeons, I don't know. What do people do? What do real people do, Callum?
I don't know. You tell me.
So once you've got that out of the way and you get to your desk and you're ready to do your work, make that first thing like, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to write for half an hour. Like, I'm just going to spend the first half hour every day writing. And it doesn't matter whether you get 1 page done or you get 10 pages done. It's just like, I'm going to get some words down. And what you'll find is that over time, that will start to take shape, and you'll get more clear on your philosophy as you do it as well, because every time you sit down and you write something, you will understand your own methods better because you're having to get it down onto paper. And that's one of the best benefits I've found from doing it, is that I've become so much more clear and solid on what I'm actually teaching because I've had to get that book done. So yeah, daily habits of writing rather than trying to do it all in one go would be the third tip. So those are my pieces of advice around that side of things, and I think it's so worth it. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and you feel, even just for the smugness of having a book, I think smugness is a very underrated motivator. It's really nice feeling smug.
Yeah, there's a difference between being smug and being arrogant, isn't there?
Absolutely.
A quite big difference.
It's like being smug, you can be smug for yourself.
Screw that. Be smug to everyone. I've got a book. I'm published. Like, fight me, bitch.
I think this is the thing. The difference is, right, being or let's say confidence versus arrogance. Confidence is like if you're like, I've got a book and I'm really proud of it, awesome. If you're confident about something but you can't back it up, that's kind of arrogance. If you can't back it up, that's the difference. I think if it's just like, I've got a book and I'm really proud of it, if you're like, it's the best book in the world that's ever been written, you're probably a bit of a cock.
True. Very, very true. Well, do you know what, Jay? Honestly, I can't believe we've talked for this bloody long. This is good. I like it when I get someone that talks as much as I do. Right, so where can everyone find your book? Where can they buy it? And you're going to obviously put links in the comments as well. But just in case.
Yeah. So it'll be out tomorrow morning. So where are we now? Yeah, we're Wednesday. So it'll be out tomorrow. If you want to get updates and stuff like that, you can go, I'll put the link in the comments, but if you go to fitbodyfitmind.online/book-freebies, I'll put that in the comments.
I was going to say, that's a bit more for that.
Yeah, it is a bit, isn't it? It's not actually that bad, but it just sounds like it is. Yeah. fitbodyfitmind.online/book-freebies. Then you can drop your email address in, and I'll send you the details of how you can get things like a free webinar, free coaching calls, stuff like that around the book as well, because I'm giving away loads of other bits and pieces. There's a prize draw and stuff as well. But it'll be out on Thursday, like I said, so tomorrow, all being well. All Amazon doing what they're supposed to do. So what a big goal for me is to make launch day as successful as possible, because that'll help me reach more people on Amazon. The more people that buy it on day one, the more people buy it on the same day, order it on the same day, the more it will bump up the rankings, and then Amazon will serve it to more people. So if you're going to order it tomorrow, because that will help me help more people.
Yeah. No, see, and this is awesome. So, Jay, if you didn't know, this now goes on YouTube. It'll also be getting turned into a podcast, so you are going to be everywhere. So whatever link you put in the comments, I know.
Are you going to make me famous, Callum?
I really am. Not in the right way. No, I am. So, yeah, it's I'm going to put it on YouTube, because we've got YouTube now. It'll be going on LinkedIn. It'll be going as a podcast when I finish setting that up. So it's going to be everywhere. So when you put the link in, I'll make sure it's on all of them things as well. But thank you so much for coming on Kwak TV.
Mate, thank you for having me. I've really enjoyed this. Well, maybe sometime next year I'll come on and I'll talk about something that isn't just about myself.
Why not? You could talk about yourself as much as you want. You're a very interesting person. Oh, and he said, what a great interview. This is what we like.
Thank you very much.
I prefer to use the word interrogation. I prefer it. It's a bit
I don't think it was today. I don't think it was an interrogation, because I gave it all that.
Yeah, but that's what I wanted. So that's the point of getting people on here. You know, that's why I say to them, as you know, you can choose whatever topic you want. That's it. You can talk about whatever you want. It's a nice challenge for me, because, like, I know jack shit about fitness. So it's like, for me, it's kind of like, yeah, right, let's go for it. Let's see what we talk about. But
let's talk about heavy metal next year.
I could talk about heavy metal, actually. I
Yeah.
could probably talk about that. I'm
That'd
very
be a good
eclectic when it
conversation.
comes to music. I could probably talk about that. So don't go anywhere. I'm going to shove you backstage. We'll have a natter afterwards, put the wells to rights. Thank you very much. Give everyone a wave. Thanks. Right, bye, Jay. So that's what we like on Kwak TV. Because remember, why watch crap TV when you can watch Kwak TV? That's right, people. I am cheesy as shit. So honestly, it was really, really cool to have Jay on. And tomorrow we have got Mr. Dom Fenton, the activity connector himself. It's very fitness orientated this week. Don't know why. Just is. So remember, today your trending is football for some bizarre reason. Your hashtags are Wednesday thoughts, Wednesday wisdom, and Wednesday motivation. Your day of the year is chocolate covered everything, and charts is all still music and Christmas films and Christmas music and all that shit. Also, I didn't do my funny article. Every day I do my funny article, and today's one is about a teaching assistant mortified after missing rude detail on her Christmas jumper, and it's basically two reindeers fornicating. I'll go with that word because then it's not as common as what I would normally say. No, they're fucking. That's what they're doing. The reindeers are fucking. And it's pretty funny, to be fair, because you really wouldn't notice the details. So I do recommend going on the Mirror. That's what I've found this article on. And it's on the weird news section. And you will see that it is genuinely two reindeers humping. And the teaching assistant didn't know. And she went to school with it, I believe. So there we go, people. If you want to know how to get yourself sacked, wear a jumper with two reindeers humping. Have a lovely day. Have a lovely Wednesday. I'm going to go get me mock chopped. I cannot wait. It is a glorious day. Once again, thank you to Jay. Tune in every day, Monday to Friday. Obviously, I like weekends off. 9:30 a.m. where we talk all crap and things and put the wells to rights. And remember, if you're watching this on replay, hashtag replay, find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, in my Facebook group, The Duck Pond, YouTube, and podcast. You can find me everywhere. So, deuces.